Hi, guys. Welcome to the Killer Author Club. We have another fabulous episode for you guys tonight. The one and only Joshilyn Jackson back with another spine tingling domestic thriller for us with My Little Eye. We have tons to talk about, so grab your cocktail. Hope you made it. Your list of questions for Joshilyn and sit tight. We will see you in just a second.
Thought you really loved me, guess I was wrong. Thought you'd never leave me, guess I was dumb. Waited like forever to be your plus one, but I guess you were done. Left me at
Hello. Okay, so we've got Killer Kara, Killer Heather, Killer Kimberly in the house, and we have tons of questions for Killer Joshilyn, which I know you do too. So make sure to drop them in the comments, and we will be scrolling through them to pull as many as we can out to ask her live on the show. Come join the club. If you're watching this on Facebook, you know the drill. We have Killer Author Club, that is our public group. We also have our private Killer Author Clubhouse for our most hardcore members, and that's where we host our book clubs. If you've never been to one, you definitely need to check those out. We have Alex Finlay next month talking about his phenomenal What Have We Done? It's his latest. He has tons of other books too. If you like What Have We Done, which you definitely will, check out his backlist. And we also have a YouTube channel where you can stream us to your big flat screen TV on the wall. So make sure to check us out, all of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all the places where we are wasting way too much time. And for links to everything, make sure to check out killerauthorclub.com. Is that my computer that keeps dinging? And now, without further ado, Heather, would you please introduce our killer guest?
Oh, I would love to. New York Times and USA Today bestselling author Joshilyn Jackson writes page-turning suspense novels that revolve around timely women's issues, raising questions about justice, motherhood, career, class, and the thorny mechanics of redemption. She previously penned 8 works of Southern fiction, all of which have a murder mystery or thriller lurking inside the family drama. Her critically acclaimed work has been translated into more than a dozen languages, and Jackson is also an award-winning audiobook narrator, which I hope we can talk some more about. She lives in Decatur, Georgia with her family, and you can learn more about Joshilyn at joshilynjackson.com. And now, Joshilyn, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Thank you for being here. And can you give us a quick little sneak peek into what readers can expect with My Little Eye?
Oh, gosh, I have one here, but everybody's holding one up. I want to hold one up too. It's the story of a working actor, not a movie star, like a working actor named Maribel Mills, who she has a stalker, and it gets so bad, like she's smelling his cologne in her bed, that she uproots her 13-year-old daughter and she moves back to Georgia. She takes a job. I live in Atlanta, and we get a lot of television shows filming here. And she takes a job in Atlanta. She moves with her daughter to a state that she fled from years ago, that she swore she'd never go back to get away from him. Because it's a thriller, it's not a spoiler to tell you he is absolutely going to follow her. There's no way. Chapter 1, I moved to Atlanta. Chapter 2, it's fine. No. He follows her. And it's about gaze. It's about issues of privacy. It's about, Maribel is an actor, so it's about like the pressure on women to stay thin and young and beautiful, and how our value is tied to that. She's about to turn 40, and her agent is telling her, yeah, your income's going to plummet. And that's just true. That's absolutely true. So, and this guy is kind of obsessed with her because she played an iconic little cheerleader on a 90s sitcom. So he's sort of obsessed with the Maribel that used to be. And she's like, who gets obsessed with 42-year-old mothers? But this guy does. So that's what it's about.
Oh, it's so good. Loved
So
it, loved it.
good.
And New York Times bestselling author Karen Slaughter says it's a dark, twisting confection with my little eye will send readers racing through its pages. Joshilyn Jackson is a master storyteller. So high praise
Oh,
there.
it's nice. Yeah.
So we're going to talk more about the book in just a moment, but now we need to get settled in for our killer cocktail segment.
Yes.
Kara.
Right. Yeah. Hi,
Yay.
Kimberly. Hi, everybody. Thank you all for being here. And it's cocktail time, our favorite time of the show. No, I'm kidding.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah. Okay. So, Joshilyn, why did you choose the denouement?
Well, so I love Hendrix, and they have a new gin out right now called the Flora Adora. It's a super 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 floral gin. If you sniff this, it smells like a bouquet of flowers. I'm not even kidding. And then there's a weird little like a liqueur I like. It's called Cluster Bitters. And it's you can just drink it over ice like as an aperitif, but I wanted to do a mixed drink with it. So I looked up, I always go back to Prohibition era cocktails because they knew how to drink when it was illegal. And so I found a cocktail called The Last Word, and it's a take on that. And it's the problem with it is it is extremely easy drinking and it's extremely potent. So you have to be really, really careful. But I mean, look how pretty it is. Don't you want to drink
Gorgeous.
that?
Beautiful. And I think this was the best cocktail presentation we've had. Don't you guys agree?
Yeah,
The
100%.
shaker, all the
The
ingredients
shaker
coming
and
together.
all.
So,
It's so good.
yeah, cheers. Thank
experience.
you
Yeah,
for that. Yeah, cheers,
Yeah.
everyone.
Now I like a very bitter cocktail. This is honestly a little sweet for me, and it's really alcoholic. So what I like to do, it ruins the color. I like to add a lot of grapefruit juice just to make it more bitter.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I
I
love
like
the
the
grapefruit
cocktails
juice
that are
cocktail. So
Grapefruit
Wow,
juice
that
is good in just about anything.
yes.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
great
agree.
presentation. I really like that. So, all right.
All right. So, New York Times bestselling author Abbott Collar says in With My Little Eye, Joshilyn Jackson proves once again that she's not only a masterful storyteller, but a literary magician. Ooh.
Mhm.
And the killers agree. So tell us, Jocelyn, we need to know your answer to the killer question. How do you kill?
Me personally, fictionally, only
Whichever you would like
fictionally.
to share with us.
I have never killed anyone in real life. Well,
Really?
I mean, I guess I have a pretty high body count because I wrote like Southern fiction for a couple of decades before I started writing thrillers, and I started noticing that like my first 5 or 6 books, somebody got murdered in Alabama. Like, I guess the answer to that is I like to kill people in Alabama. But since moving to thrillers, I've kind of branched out. Like, I think I've killed people in 7 states now. So I'm feeling pretty good about that.
That's
Good.
awesome.
There are a lot of states left to go.
I know, right?
You're spreading the love. Spreading the love.
Is that enough of an answer, or do you want me to?
It. I love
Absolutely.
it.
If it satisfies your sharing needs, yes, that's fine. Otherwise, you can carry on.
I just would like to state for the record that if you look in my Google search history, I'm a scary person. But
Oh, yeah.
I know, we know the feeling. We do.
yeah.
So when you're a narrator of an audiobook and you're doing the killing scenes, is that hard? Like those scenes to
No, I mean, I should say yes, it's very hard. It's so fun. It's so fun. There's a poet I really love, Beth Ann Finley. And she's married to a novelist, Tommy Franklin. And she did this little story in a book where she's like, she used to date this guy named Neil, who was an architect. And in every one of Tommy's books, he kills a guy named Neil. And she's like, Neil could build, Tommy can't build tall buildings. He can only build a story and push Neil out of it.
That's
So
hilarious.
I think that's fun. Like, do you ever, maybe I should ask, maybe this is a bad question, but have you ever killed anybody like vicariously a little bit? Like just, you have? Yay! Good, me too. That makes me feel better.
I'm plotting my whole next book around somebody right now. I
Ooh,
really
I love it.
Yes.
Oh, Kara, we're going to talk afterwards.
Yes. 100%.
Okay, but enough about me. Okay.
Great.
So Facebook user, does Joshilyn narrate any of her own books? Yes. So you've narrated, have you done all of your books?
All but the first. You know how with your first novel, people think it's autobiographical? Well, my first novel was narrated by a wildly promiscuous murderess. So I thought, like, maybe I don't want to be any more associated. I mean, my real first novel is Under My Bed, and you will never read it. And it was autobiographical. But my first published novel, people think that's your first novel, and most of the time it isn't. You got to write a practice one or two, or spend 10 years writing one book to kind of learn how to do it. Or I did anyway.
Is that God's in Alabama?
Yeah.
I'm listening to the audio. I read it a long time ago, but I'm listening to the audio right now. It's really fabulous.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah.
I love the actor they got.
Such a great story. I mean, just
thank you.
Yeah, love it.
So
Did you have-
I didn't want to read that one. And then the second, like, I just wanted a little distance between me and the wildly promiscuous murderer.
Sure. Did you have to like fight with your publisher to be able to do it? Because
yeah, so I was, I worked in theater and as an actor before I was a novelist, and I had done voice work. I had done like I had done some voice work for like PBS. I'm the nun in an Emmy-winning documentary where this nun speaks in Spanish, and then I'm like, here in Nicaragua, the sisters believe, So
Love it.
I said I want to read my next audiobook. I didn't ask with God's because I didn't want to, and my editor said, "Oh, that is so cute. No, honey, no." And I said, no, I really think I could do a good job. And she said, that is darling. No. And I said, can I audition? And she said, well, the thing is they want it to be good, but yes, you can audition and just don't be disappointed. So I had a friend who was running a literary magazine and a literary magazine that was entirely auditory, and he had a studio. So I went to a professional studio with a producer and a director and did him a professional reel, just like I would have done for a voice acting job 20 years before. And they got the reel and they were like, oh, yeah, you could, yeah, sure you can.
Legit.
And I mean, I sent them like a fight scene with 5 men. I sent them a humorous scene. I sent them straight narration. I did a whole reel, and they, then after that, like that audiobook kind of did well. And when my next book contract came, it said I had to read the audiobook. So
nice.
That's so great.
Validation.
I can imagine lots of readers / listeners really think that's cool. You get like a kind of a little more insight into the actual author when you hear their voice, I think.
Yeah.
I love it too. Like when I get to read for somebody else, like I got to read for Lydia Netzer, who wrote Shine, 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 which is one of my favorite books of all time. And we won Audiobook of the Year from Publishers Weekly for that one.
Amazing.
And I got to read for Christopher Swan. I like his
Here.
thrillers.
He's actually
well, I freaking love Susie. Hey, Christopher. Yeah, I read for Christopher Swan. One of his characters in the series he does she's a repeating character, Susie Faulkner. She's such a bad A word. Am I allowed to say the A word?
Yeah, you are.
She's a badass. And I loved her, so I love that I get to do that.
So fun.
Sure, awesome book narrator. He's biased, but
Yeah, that's awesome.
True.
Okay, so should we go to the questions about the book? I wonder.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So there were so many suspects for Marker Man. Did you know who it was going to be before you started the book?
Yes. Yes, I did. I did not know the end of the book, but I knew who that guy was. And what I didn't have really was, I was surprised when he ended up being a narrator in the book. Like, I didn't necessarily want to give that guy a voice, but it just didn't work. I tried to avoid letting him talk. Like, I was like, okay, we'll just show his letters. I'll just write little pieces of his letters. No, he had to talk. Ugh, I hate that guy. But yeah, I knew who it was.
It was so creepy.
It
He's a
was
creepy guy.
For
Ooh.
sure.
When there's a scene where he's talking about they're in the pharmacy together, and you know they're in the pharmacy together, he's saying, and she doesn't know he's there. He's right behind her in line at the pharmacy, smelling her hair, thinking they're a couple.
So gross.
And where did you come up? I thought it was so creepy, so clever, coming up with the idea, the marker man using like fruit scented markers, right?
So my friend's kid has those markers. Have you ever smelled those
I
markers?
love those markers.
You do?
I love them.
I was a third grade teacher, so I know that.
Heather's been smelling markers for a long time. Sorry, it had to be said.
All right, that was pretty good. That was great. Ouch! Shots fired. To me, the idea, like they smell so ersatz. That fake sugar smell, that fake mint smell. They're so strong, and they're like, kids freaking love them. They're so childish, and because he's obsessed with her, like. The reason she's had this career is because she was on an iconic show. She wasn't one of the friends. She was like Janice. She had that little recurring role that everybody remembers.
Yeah.
And she was the mean cheerleader. So I wanted him to have a childishness about him, like a stuntedness. And so that was a way to like let him be stunted. Hey, Kimberly Brock. It's noted Atlanta author Kimberly Brock.
Yeah. We got lots of Atlanta people here. I'm seeing Dawn. Yay.
That's great. Well, speaking of Maribel, so she's a single mom, and so she not only has to protect herself, she has to protect her daughter as well.
Honor, yeah.
Loved Honor.
Yes, I loved her. She loved her spirit, her feistiness. So tell us about those characters. And did you have, like, when you had Maribel be an actress, did you have a particular actress in mind as you were writing her character?
Weirdly, I did. I can't think of her name. She's a character actor, and she was on like Law and Order. She was the little red-haired person who was very stern on Law and Order. They were always giving her a buzz cut and making her play a cop, but she's so cute.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Like freckles, and she's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've seen her her name is like Julia or Julian something. And I've seen when she has long hair, she's very, very beautiful. And they're always like, she has like she was in Ally McBeal. I thought of her as like the way she looked. Maribel looked like her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always cast. Do you cast so you have a face to look at? I like to look at a face.
I do that a lot. Yeah.
Wow. It's usually not like, I'm not going to cast Scarlett Johansson or somebody really well known. I'm looking for a face that I can think about.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then Honor is a very personal character for me. Yeah. My son is autistic, and he's just like me. And it didn't occur to me for years that, maybe wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
And then my daughter would say to me, Mom, I've been reading about girls on the autism spectrum, and I think I'm autistic. And I would say, why do you think that? And she would tell me a whole bunch of things. And I would say, honey, that is so normal. Okay, not normal. So we both went in and we're diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. And women on the spectrum, I'm a very good masker. Like I think you wouldn't know, but if you get to know me for long enough, you'll start to see it, I think. And she's a very good masker. And women on the autism spectrum, very often, because there's so much social pressure for us to be empathetic and observant, we usually end up being actors and writers, because those are things that teach you how to have conversations and how to people and what facial expression to make with what words, which is not a thing I knew. It was a thing I manually taught myself, and I thought that was normal.
Wow.
Interesting.
So Honor, who's on the spectrum, was very easy for me to write. I just thought, okay, what were you like at 13? Go. So Honor's the way Honor thinks is how I think.
Yeah.
And one of the things I really love, this audiobook is a full cast audiobook. There's Maribel is about 75-80% of the book. It's her book. But Honor narrates, Markerman narrates, her best friend Cooper narrates, and her ex-boyfriend narrates, and Markerman. And they cast it with these wonderful and a homeless girl that her daughter befriends named Xena Warrior Princess, not her real name, narrates. And they cast the whole thing. And Maisie Jane, my daughter, auditioned and was cast as Honor. And so I'm reading the mother, she's reading the daughter. We're both, when I was her age, I was an actor doing voice acting work. She is great at it. And also I wanted, Honor's autistic. I wanted an autistic actor to read her. That was important to me. So it was, it's a very special audiobook for me.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
I know.
Really awesome.
Yeah. Well, I just, we finished reading the physical copy, of course. And now, right when it comes out, I'm going to be picking up the next week. I'm going to be
a week from today.
Ooh, 1 week from today. That's right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Exciting.
It's fine. I'm fine.
I loved all the Atlanta references in there too. Do you do that? I mean, you don't sell all your books in Atlanta, do you? But
I'm sad this book is set in Atlanta. I had an ex of mine, like a really good ex, we're still really good friends, who lives out in LA and has had a really good career in the film industry, was going to loan me a guest house. I was going to go out there for like a month. I was going to set the whole book in LA. I had interviews with working actors lined up. COVID hit. And I was like, well, we have so much film industry stuff happening here. So I was able to interview working actors here and use all the real settings and stuff that are here in this town instead of LA. But I did want to set this book in LA. Stupid COVID.
Yeah.
A nice thing was it did. It's really problematic. So yeah, but I do like, I mean, if I'm going to write a book set in LA, I want to go to LA. I want to smell it. I want to see the space that I'm going to be in, like that. So I was able to do it here in Atlanta. And the thing that was kind of cool about it is there are some things that I was able to get out of LA. So there are some scenes set in LA that are set in real places and stuff, but I like a sense of place, so.
Yeah.
Well,
as an Atlanta person myself, I love reading books where I'm like, oh, I know where that is. Oh, I've been there.
Well, I live in Decatur, which is on the east side of Atlanta, and so much stuff is filmed here. Like so much stuff is filmed here. Like we're watching Will Trent, and I'm like, that's my friend Julia's house. That's the courthouse right down, the old courthouse on Decatur Square. That's like, it's really bizarre to
I don't know if people outside of Atlanta realize how big the film industry is. It is giant. You see them everywhere. You can't drive anywhere without seeing the signs about,
people in LA now.
Parking here. And I mean, it's taken over the city for sure.
I love it. I love that about this city. You can get extra work. My daughter has signed up for extra work, which is great.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, I think it's time for our next segment. Even though we could talk to you all night, we really could. I'm not kidding. You've been great. It's a blast. Okay, so we have a giveaway. So this is what the audience is waiting for. Okay, you guys. So Joshilyn is giving away 2 copies of With My Little Eye to 2 lucky winners, U.S. only. But you don't have to be in Atlanta. All you have to do to answer this question about our killer guest is, and we will pick one from the correct answer, so no cheating. Bonus points for joining the club and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I forgot to check, but I think we've got to be over 300 people by now. So go on and join. I know we're so,
It's because of your coming on. It's so good.
It takes a village. Okay, here's the question, you guys. Besides being a world-renowned author, what is Joshilyn's other award-winning profession? This is another easy one. I think you guys have it.
It rhymes with prostitute. No, that's wrong. Wait. That's not the answer.
Nobody typed that. Okay, if you do, we might count that answer too.
Yeah.
It's not right with that.
Oh my goodness. Well, the Killer Author Club, we love bookstores, of course, and appreciate your support of them. And Joshilyn selected the Eagle Eye Books in Decatur, Georgia, where you can pre-order your very own copy of With My Little Eye, which is out next Tuesday, as well as Joshilyn's other books. So tell us, Joshilyn, why is Eagle Eye Bookshop so special to you?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. The truth is, so many, it does what all the best indies do. It does, which is if you go in there and you say, they read, these people read, and you go in there and you say, they know books aren't fungible. They're not selling like cupcakes. You say, oh, I really liked Madalena in the Dark, and I want to read something like that. And they'll be like, oh yes, I know that book. Here's 3 things you might like. And they have a bookstore dog, which is very important. And they're really supportive of emerging voices. Like they have a little writers club that meets there, and they have a book club that meets there and discusses stuff. Like they're just community builders, which I love. And most important for me is I can walk there from my house. So that makes it very special for me because I'm scared of driving. And I just like being that close to an indie bookstore, and they're just really freaking cool. And they because I live so close, you can't just get signed copies. If you want like a personal copy, you can call them and say, when is Joshilyn coming anytime soon? Can I? And I will. I mean, they love that because if I walk in there, I'm going to buy 6 or 8 books because I have a problem. I'm a junkie. So they'll call me and say, come sign these 2 books, and I'll go sign 2 books and buy 6. So
yes. Yeah. Well, we'll be dropping the link, and probably already have, to the bookstore. And so everybody can go and purchase Joshilyn's book at Eagle Eye Books. Wonderful.
Great. Definitely go. I've been there many times. It's a lovely store.
Yes. All right.
So I love that music.
It's right up, doesn't it?
You guys, as much as we would love to have everyone on with their new books, we just only do the show every other week. And there are only 3 of us. We like to sleep and see our families, but we can't let this evening go by without celebrating a very special release. Matthew Farrell, The Woman at Number 6. A loyal wife, a handsome husband. Which one of them will kill to keep their secret? The Woman at Number 6 is a twisty and gripping psychological thriller that will have you wondering who to trust and turning the pages well into the night. For fans of Gone Girl, The Couple Next Door, and T.M. Logan, you will be hooked. Congrats to Matthew, and make sure to check out his new book today.
that looks good.
Congrats, Matthew. Okay, and now for another favorite segment. Membership has its privileges. Every episode, we choose a name from the Killer Author Clubhouse, which is our private, secret Facebook group, which you're really welcome to join anytime. We'll let you in. So we have swag. We have T-shirts. Where's all my swag? We have hats. We have Oh, these are really cool. We have water bottles. Yeah, we have, of course, we have killer author cocktails. We have everything you could possibly want for your swag and more. And anyway, all of which can be found at killerauthorclub.com, our website. So tonight's winner, thank you for being in the clubhouse, is Christine Franz. I hope I'm saying that right. Christine, please send one of the killers your address, and we'll send some killer author swag your way. Yay! We need some music for that one.
Yeah. A little bit more there, don't we? Oh my goodness. So do we have time for, no, I don't think we do. We've been having so much fun, but we've come to the section of the show where we are so happy to say, Joshilyn, that you have survived the Killer Author Club.
Phew!
And you can, we'll send you this badge and you can print it out. You can hang it on the wall next to all your awards, literary awards, and tell everyone that you survived. You survived the Killer Author Club.
I thank you guys so much for having me. You are so much fun.
Aw, we loved it.
Such
It's
a
hilarious.
great show. Thank you.
It was awesome. So you guys, that does it for tonight's show. Thanks to everyone for being here, and to Joshilyn, of course, for chatting with us tonight. We are back in 2 weeks on May 2nd, same time, same place, wherever you decided to watch us tonight. You can watch us there again, and we will be back with the endlessly entertaining Christina Dodd. Forget What You Know, which recently received a starred review from Booklist. Make sure to pick up our next book club book, What Have We Done by Alex Finlay. E-News says it's safe to say Finlay is one of the genre's most exciting voices. Clubhouse only, so you do need to join. There are questions for you to get in. It's how we keep out the skeevy guys and the bots. And that is on May 30th. For times, full schedule, past episodes, all the links, recipes for tonight's drink and all the past drinks, lots of merch that Heather and Kara just showed you. Make sure to go to killerauthorclub.com. We will see you right back here in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, go get yourself a fun new t-shirt.
Thanks, Joshilyn.
Oh, thank you.
Good night, everybody.
I guess I'm a killer, threw our love into the river. Heard you